Today I'm going to teach you 3 badminton service variations that you need to master if you want to take your game to the next level. Now, service in badminton isn't as aggressive as in tennis, but it's still a very important part of the game. A precise serve means you start on the right foot and don't give your opponent an easy advantage. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Badminton Warehouse, where I'll be sharing more such tips, and of course check out their amazing stuff as well. Before we look at the variations, let's go through some fundamentals of the forehand serve that stay same across all times. If you're right-handed, your left foot goes in front, pointing mostly straight ahead. You ideally need to stand about 3 to 3.5 feet behind the short service line in singles. Your right foot is placed a little behind, about a foot behind, angled slightly in the diagonal direction, as you see in this clip. When you serve, your front foot stays firm. With your back foot, the heel can lift as you swing. And that's where your weight transfer also happens. But make sure the toe always stays on the ground until you've made contact with the shuttle. If the whole foot comes off, it's a fault. The stance itself may vary between players, but what you see here is a fairly reliable standard starting point. These basics are common across all kinds of service, and that's why I'm covering them before you're moving into the variations. Now let's look at the first variation, the high serve. This is usually the first serve beginners also learn, but don't underestimate it. Even at the advanced and professional level, a strong high serve can be a very effective way to start the rally. The idea is simple: hit the shuttle high and deep, landing close to the baseline inside the trap lines. When the shuttle goes all the way to the back, your opponent is forced deep into his or her court, and from there it's much harder to attack powerfully. The extra height also makes the shuttle drop steeply, which can throw off timing and sometimes even force an error. You can also mix in 2 variations within the high serve. One is serving closer to the tee or the center of the court. This reduces the angle for your opponent and makes it tougher to get a strong smash through for it. The other is serving closer to the sideline. This drags the opponent all the way into the corner, which again opens up the opposite front court for you to exploit. So while the high serve looks simple, when done with good height and depth, it gives you control, variety and sets you up well right from the start of the rally. Now let's move on to the next variation, the low serve. In fact, most players, even at the advanced and professional level, very often start rallies with a low serve. And this isn't just in doubles, you'll see a lot of it in singles as well. The reason is simple: when you serve low, you're not giving away the attack to your opponent. It becomes very difficult for them to start the rally with a smash. More often than not, they're forced to either play a tight net shot back or lift the shuttle, which gives you the chance to take the attack. For professional players, because they move so fast and cover the court so quickly, the low serve is even more common. It allows them to stay on the front foot without handing the advantage away. Now the foot position for the low serve is largely the same as the high serve, but the difference lies in the stroke. Once you begin your motion, you don't accelerate your racket forward. Instead, you gently just push the shuttle so that it travels just above the net, ideally a max of 2 to 3 inches above the net. This position is extremely crucial. If the shuttle goes too high, your opponent can rush forward and tap it down, immediately taking control of the rally. Another key point with a low serve is your recovery. The moment you play it, you have to be ready. Because the shuttle travels such a short distance, the return comes back very quickly. If your opponent pushes you to the back after the low serve and you're not prepared, you'll be caught off balance. So serving low is not just about that serve, it's also about being alert for the next shot. And just like the high serve, variation here is critical as well. You can serve to the center of the tee or closer to the sideline or even in between. Mixing this up keeps your opponent guessing. Even if they know that you're going to play a low serve, the uncertainty of the exact placement makes it really hard for them to rush the shuttle and anticipate your next move. So the low serve, when done accurately and combined with smart positioning, is an extremely safe and very effective way to start the rally. And finally, let's talk about the last forehand serve variation, the flick serve. This is a serve that you should use only very sparingly in a match. It works best when it's combined with a lot of low serves. The idea is that if you keep serving low, your opponent starts expecting it. Mentally, they are leaning forward, prepared to rush the net and take the shuttle early. That's exactly when a well-timed flick serve can catch them off guard. Done right, it can even give you a direct point, or at the very least force a weak return that you can finish off. The reason that you have to use it carefully or sparingly is that the flick serve is a relatively flat shot. It goes roughly about a couple of feet over your opponent's head and doesn't have too much height. If the opponent is expecting it, he or she can simply jump up, intercept the shuttle midway and put it straight down, making it almost impossible for you to retrieve. That's why you should probably use it not more than maybe a max of 3 times in a single set, and always at the right moment. In terms of technique, the preparation has to look exactly like your short serve. The stance, the racket movement, the footwork, everything should give your opponent the impression that you're about to serve low again. The deception in the flick serve actually comes halfway through the stroke. You start with the same relaxed motion, but then you suddenly accelerate the racket head and flick the shuttle over your opponent's head. One very important point here is that the racket movement must stay continuous. If you stop, pull back and then push forward again, that's a fault. The motion has to flow smoothly, slow at first and then a sudden spurt of speed at the end to lift the shuttle. As for placement, you usually should aim towards the center or the tee of the court, though the sidelines can also work. What really matters is the disguise and the height you need to clear the shuttle over the opponent's head in a way they are not ready for. Used at the right time, the flick serve is a very clever variation that can completely disrupt your opponent's rhythm and keep them guessing throughout the match. I hope you enjoyed this and picked up something useful. Like with everything else in badminton, the key to get better here is practice. The more you repeat a skill, the sharper it gets. The great thing about service practice is that you don't even need a partner. Just get onto the court with a bunch of shuttles and just keep serving 50, 100 shuttles in a row. That's how you build consistency and accuracy. And that's how you make sure you're starting every rally on the right note. So keep practicing, have fun with it, and as always, keep smashing.